Okay, hi, it's Gill here, and today in the English Country Garden we have Adriana, who is the beautiful life coach Adriana Mendez Snowden. And nice to see you today.
Hi, Gill. Well, thank you very much. I'm loving to have this little interview here in your garden, which I love.
Yeah, well, it is a garden, so therefore there may be a little bit of noise, from passing train or an aeroplane or somebody knocking at the door, but we'll just ignore them, shall we?
Yeah.
So I am absolutely delighted that you're here because I'm an absolute total fan of this girl. She's not only fluent in English, her English is better than mine. She's now got a beautiful son who's just last day of reception today.
Yeah.
I know, I remember those days, and his English is better than yours, and that's great too. Married to a lovely author, he's an author as well, isn't he? Adriana's written a book, and she's got another book coming out in November. But Adriana's, we met at Law of Attraction meeting, which is a nice place to start. We both love Law of Attraction, but we know it's not the be-all and end-all of getting further in life. So go on, have a little chat about what you're doing now and what you're hoping to achieve, and a little bit.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years, as you know, they've been amazing as far as growth. And one of the things that I always talk about in my webinars and my conferences is about being committed. To me, being committed is the number one step, because whatever you're going through, and if you're in a place where you feel you need help, or you need to change certain things about you, or you just want to be happier or healthier or whatever that is, you need to be 100% committed, because everything else happens from that point forward.
Yeah, I found that. I've been coaching for many years now, and I think that it's a mixture, isn't it, of being in the right frame of mind, but then how do you get to that frame of mind to be able to start the journey that you really, really have got a longing to be on. With the coaching that you do, is there a specific way that you can get people to start moving with their self-worth and their self-love, and how to fast track it?
Well, I actually asked them, because there is a lot of people that is interested in self-development or in shelf development. They have read lots of books, and it's just
She's seen my bookcase. Hello, no.
Well, you have to start somewhere and reading all these books, but that doesn't mean you're ready. That doesn't mean that you're going to implement everything that it's on those books or everything that you watch or listen. But when I have somebody inquiring, or I'm on a connection call with a potential client, I actually ask them, how do you feel? Are you interested, or are you committed? Because those are two different things. I might be interested going to the gym, but that doesn't make me committed to have the discipline to follow it, to stick to it. And if they're not committed, it's not much point, because I'll be happy to work with them and get their money, but it's not going to be good for them, and I have to make them real.
Exactly. So just lately, I have a self-help library, and what's apparent to me is that there's nothing new here. It isn't rocket science. It is really scraping it all back to the basics of how you feel about yourself. But a lot of people haven't recognized that they have a true self. That who are they? Has anyone, like at the mini retreats, then you were on one of them, I said, write your name in the middle of a piece of paper and look at your name and think, who am I? Because we're so busy, we run around here, there, and well, I'm not, because I've still got a broken leg, but we hypothetically run around everywhere. We've got families and friends and lives and mortgages and houses. Life is very, very busy. It's when we realise, I am Gill, You are Adriana. You are people. Have a think about who you actually are and what do you want? What's in it for you? One life. That's what my book's called, by the way. Well, it's One Life. I haven't written it. Well, I have written it. It's in about 45 journals. So eventually it will be, maybe it will. If it's meant to be, it will happen. However, right now, I've been doing some work on my spiritual self, which I'm not religious. So this is quite difficult for me to understand because I'm more of a science person. Even though I haven't got a physics or a chemistry degree, I still believe in, I love to talk about vibrational energy. Now I know that it's something that you're really fond of, and I've heard that you're doing a fabulous retreat in Mexico where you're going to tap into this. So go on, tell us a bit about that.
Yes, that's right. I'm really, really excited. I'm going to my hometown, and I'm very blessed that I'm from a holiday destination. It's a lovely beach town. Puerto Vallarta will be there in August, and I put out there this day retreat for the local women, and it has had an amazing response. It's sold out, and basically what I'm going to facilitate, it's not like, oh, I'm going to teach you this or teach you that. I have studied a bunch of stuff, but it's not about that. It's actually a transformational and holistic retreat, and it's about mutually learning from each other, making this connection, and just to share from a place from experience. And if that can help somebody, that's great. But the whole idea is to disconnect, and it's from 9 to 5 p.m. Right now, all of the moms in Mexico, they're like, I'm gonna send my kids to a summer camp. But I asked them, where are you going? Where are you going? You might not be able to get away for a whole weekend or to travel and spend tons of money, but what about 8 hours just for you?
Ah, perfect.
Cell phone detox, no social media, and just rest your body, your mind, and nourish your soul. I mean, we're gonna do tantric dance for the feminine power. A lot of people think this tantric word is just like sensuality related and sexual. It could help for that, but this is about just to release the feminine power. We're gonna do mindfulness. I know you're a mindfulness practitioner, right? Yourself, and I have found that it helps me a lot into day-to-day stuff. I'm not somebody like Jill said. I'm not religious, and I'm not somebody that like I'm meditating all the time and yoga. We have all different ways. For me, just for a walk on the beach or any on the lake, whatever, nature helps me to clear my mind. And we all have the different approaches to meditation, but mindfulness is really a way of being, a lifestyle. And I'm gonna give also a talk about that in some exercises, because it helps us to make a pause at any given time during the day. 1 minute, if you can spend in silence and just regroup, you can face the next activity, the next meeting, the next person, to your kids. But it actually helps to expand your conscious. And we were talking about earlier that whoever that wants to improve their lives or arrive at their higher version of themselves and live their big life vision needs to wake up, needs to expand their conscious, because everything happens after that. All the power, all the magic, it happens once you start making conscious decisions that are aligned with your beliefs, and then they're followed by aligned actions.
Exactly. I mean, that was a powerful few moments that I hope whoever's watching this really picks up, because I've been trying to say it, but not quite as eloquently as that. Unless you actually do some form of practice where you can get some clarity, you are never going to get past the first steps. Never. It won't happen. You need to kind of like think, everyone needs to have mindfulness in their lives, or some form of releasing the thoughts. Overthinking is a killer. It's a killer of your ambitions, it's a killer of your weight loss, it's a killer of your healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you overthink in a negative way, then it's not going to work for you. And hearing you say that, I'm so pleased for all these lovely Mexican ladies that are coming on your retreat. So just go for it. And being a facilitator is a perfect word. At the beginning of anything I do, I say, I'm not the teacher here. We will all learn from each other. All you need to be is kind of like putting some ideas into, and then you will pick up on that, you will pick up on that, and somebody else will run with that one. But you have started the ball rolling for so many people that an expansion. This is the crucial thing that I've just said about being spiritual. I don't know whether it's spiritual or whether I'm just believing that there is a higher power. So therefore, having that first trust is key. If you can trust that things are actually as they're meant to be, but you can move forward, then that's a really, really good place to be, is trusting yourself, that you are making good decisions, that you are taking some time out for yourself. Because it's not something that I've done. As you can see, I've never been to a beauty salon in my life. Every time
You don't need it. What are you talking about?
Well, thank you. You see, you should accept a compliment.
Yes,
Thank you,
exactly.
Adriana.
You're welcome.
I'm nearer 60 than 50. So it's a hard transition of age as well. I've been working with like menopause and empty nest. Empty nest. I need this tantric stuff because when you reach this age, and it's a gift being here. I know that. I will never be minimizing my age because the older I get, the better. You know, fabulous. I'm alive and I'm living, and I have gratitude. To me isn't just a word, it's an action, it's the way of living. And I think that if we can connect with a total gratitude of well-being, of life, of sitting here, sharing a connection, a moment, then the beauty of ourselves starts to expand. And that's how we move forward. If we are in a stagnant place, if we're tapping at a keyboard all day, flicking from Instagram to Facebook and back again and being distracted, then like you were saying before, we don't have that discipline or that first step.
Right.
What do you think about the internet these days? I mean, we're spending a lot of time on it, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I think it's how do you say in English? A sword of
A double-edged sword.
a double-edged sword. And but even for social media, that's where it comes your conscious, right? That's where you make decisions that are for your own well-being, meaning you can either waste your time, get involved with gossip, you can just scroll, be mindless, opposite of mindful, or you can use it to help, to share, to lift. I personally built both of my business on social media. So to me, I'm looking at it as a platform and to capitalize and I have an intention, and that is important. What is your intention behind the things that you do? Even with a post, even with a picture, even sometimes you don't think about these things, but have you ever find yourself giving a like or just to somebody because you feel I'm doing something good I want to make this person feel good? And it sounds shallow that we need these validations and approval on social media, but it's the era we're living, and we just have to accept it, flow with it. And to me, what is important and with the mindfulness that I'm learning is no judgment. What is this person posing with dress like that? Why so many photos of their kids? This person is just into positive quotes. Who cares? Let live and let live.
I think the judgment is crucial, because I thought when I actually fractured my leg and sprained the other ankle that I would be on social media all the time. So, and I didn't want that because it's influential. And so what I've done is dedicated social media time, and I think this is quite a good thing to do. It is the future, and it is the modern time that we all have businesses. I mean, if I was running a retreat, I would put it on the internet.
Right.
And so we do want you to see posts, and we want to interact, but it's kind of like that negative side that we don't need. And when we start putting comments and interactions on a negative post, that's where I feel as though the distraction of our mind goes from being an uplifting place to being in a negative place. I could, that's just my opinion.
It's like spreading it more of what you don't want.
You have to know yourself how easily distracted you are.
Yeah.
If you go on the internet with a conscious intention, how quickly do you get distracted from that intention? Like, I can forget what I was going to Google to research because somebody's name's popped up that they've made a comment, and so part of my ego goes, oh, I want to see what they've commented on and what did they say. And so I've forgotten the actual conscious intention, and I've switched to the distraction, and therefore 5 or 10 minutes later, or even an hour later, I think, Christ, what was it I was going to look at? That might not be you, but it certainly can be me.
Oh, no, it happens to me.
So
But
that
many
is,
times.
maybe we need to have a dedicated time period
Right.
where we go on the internet, or we write down the thing that we were going to Google, and we have some sort of list, a micromanagement of our internet time, so that not only are we listing all the jobs that we need to do in our lives, but we need to micromanage our time on the internet.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the modern day. But I want to say to you that I do feel that you are an inspiration to many people, because your life story is amazing. Hopefully you're going to write that in a book one day, because I do feel that people who have similar pain in their past, Adriana actually has come through a time of severe difficulties, not just, oh, the window cleaner hasn't turned up. And I do know that some people stress over that. Oh, dear me. But if that's the worst problem that you've got, then it's a good problem. You've come through things that many people hopefully will never ever experience in their life. And here you are, looking devastatingly attractive and beautiful. You shine. You absolutely shine. I'm sure that when you're watching this, you will see that. She's a brilliant coach. She has connection with your heart. So when you're coached by Adriana, you know that your best interests are coming straight. So the words that she will say, and you're clever, super clever. Webinars and conferences, you're going to do a book launch in November, and you've got everything unfolding for you, just as I hope that you would want it to be unfolding.
Yes, things are actually happening, and as you know, these last 2 years of a lot of work and getting prepared, and you go through struggles, but we were also talking about this earlier, that what meaning are you giving to your experiences? What is the meaning that you're giving these events? If it's really up to you. Mm-hmm. So if you tell yourself, well, I'm learning, and the universe and this and that will keep you going, because it's so easy, it's so easy to go and have a down moment or whatever, which is okay. It's okay to have a low time. It's okay to have some low vibrations sometimes, but let them come, feel them, let them go, let them flow, and go back at it, because that's what happens when you have self-awareness. You can see them, you can acknowledge them, but then you also know what practice, what to do or what not to do to go back to where the place that you wanted to be. You want to be, and one of these things is to surround with people like you, people that lift you up, people that you know they're there, and that we can reciprocate, and the energy flows. And the reason I'm shining is because you're a shiny mirror, and that's what you see. So you know we're always mirrors, and that's why you connect with some people, you know.
Yes, and it's finding those good connections, because there will be people that are what they call energy vampires, who just come and visit you because they want to run all their problems by you and you can help them with their solutions, and etc., etc. But I think that as a coach, and as a coach myself, your time is valuable, so you have to differentiate those that are clients from those that are friends.
Right.
But I think everybody needs a good friend that they can open out to, that doesn't charge them. But if you really do need coaching, then be prepared to put some investment into it, which is something where I feel it's really important, because otherwise you spread yourself too thinly and you can't help people then. You can't. So I wish you all the very, very best with your retreat in Mexico, with your book launch in November. Hopefully we might even do some work together.
Yeah.
Some joint coaching, and just keep going and keep your energy raised. And you are an absolutely wonderful and beautiful person, and it's my privilege to sit here with you today. So thank you.
No, thank
And
you.
connecting, so true connection with you all. And as you know, there's no way I can turn off the camera from this end. So what I'm going to do is ask my beautiful Adriana to just run round and turn it off while I sit here looking
Bye.
looking fabulous, and wishing you all the very best. Thank you.